We wanted to talk today about probate and how this can affect the real estate transaction. This is one of those things that, a lot of times buyers will get into contract, sellers will get into contract, and then all of a sudden, right before closing, it halts, right? So I guess I'm looking to pick your brain, guys, about probate. Can you explain to us just a little bit about what it is and how we can navigate this thing?
First, let's talk about wills. Everyone should have a will. The will is nothing more than a set of directions as to what's going to happen upon your demise. And it's particularly important if you have young children. If you have young children, you would like to pick the guardian of those children. God forbid you and your wife should perish in a common disaster. The other part is the real estate aspect, that if you die without a will, you have to have a probate. And it's the same if you do have a will. But the distinction being is if you do not have a will, you've got to go to probate court and have an administrator appointed to the estate. Now you open the probate. Now, if you want to sell the real estate, you have to get permission from the court, which will require an appraisal to be done at an additional cost. In addition to that, you'll have a second hearing, which will actually raise the fees even further. Sure. If you have a will, when we draft a will, it includes a power of sale, which gives the executor of the estate the ability to sell the property anytime at any price. It's his judgment. So it's the most expeditious route to be able to sell real estate. It saves time and money.
What is a typical time frame for that? Are is it like 4 weeks, like 2 months? Like, what is the typical time frame for something like that?
Well, that's actually a very good question. And the reason being is every municipality has different amount of probate hearings. Providence is weekly. Some of the rural communities are once a month. So that makes a big difference. And then again, the probate judge sometimes, and we've been handicapped by that, where you wait 3 weeks for hearing, the judge is sick, and now you wait for another 3 weeks. It could probably add 4 to 6 weeks to a closing time.
Sure. So can they do a broker price opinion, also known as a BPO, instead of a formal appraisal?
Actually, just recently, they've been requesting appraisals. In the past, they would just ask for like a CMA or a broker's letter. But now there's so much potential for fraud in the probate area. That's why they're very concerned about it. And the entire probate process is closely guarded by the probate court. They want, the decedent's assets to be distributed, the proper way.
So, Carmen, there's some costs that are associated, obviously, with time. Right. So when somebody doesn't prepare their estate correctly, put a will in place, and they have to go through probate, what are some of those hidden costs that you think consumers are going to get hit with?
Well, first of all, not so hidden is the legal fees. Again, we talked about the duplication of hearing times. Yeah. The other thing you mentioned earlier about the appraisals coming in late, the court have very finite dates. And if that appraiser comes in 1 or 2 days late, well, guess what? You're another 3 weeks out. So, and the longer you're out, the more you're going to incur the normal carrying costs, such as real estate taxes, fire district insurance, if it's a condominium, homeowners fees. So the clock keeps ticking, and usually the home's empty because the person passed away. And you could even get into an insurance issue where if it's vacant for more than 30 days, you could even end up with a problem with that. So it's just such a simple process. There's no reason for people not to have a will. And in addition to the real estate we just talked about, there's no fighting, there's no arguing. Your directions are clear and simple. In Rhode Island, the husband or surviving wife have a statutory life estate in the property. So we just had one where we could not sell the property until we got the husband to release his life estate interest. That's a statute that exists in Rhode Island. So that's another possibility that could create a problem. So you want to deal with that, in a will also.